pleasant greetings to everyone and welcome back to another episode of our venture in the visual novel Adventure of a Lifetime. We might be putting the wraps on things, I don't know, but as we all know, with a lot of these visual novels, when it looks like they're about to end a major event, they always give us some type of encore. So we'll see what's going to happen this time around. But last episode, Hiroki and Chisa found the ring in the sunken ship, but they ran into quite a bit of a turmoil with the ship shifting, to which it had trapped Hiroki and he was running out of air, but Finn came to the rescue and then, of course, giving Chisa back the necklace and then swam away after that, which was to say, okay, look, take that, but yeah, I'm going to take my leave right now, but wear that thing, darn it. I'm not done being your friend. You're going to stay my friend, darn it. So yeah, that was Finn. So Finn to the rescue indeed. So with that, pretty much Hiroki has narrated that their summer adventure was coming to an end, but let's see if there's any more after this. Let's check it out. And so the curtain fell on our summer of adventure. More than a few days later, it was my turn to board the ferry home. That's everything. Chisa studied my face. Just cleaning up. Last night was Machiko Cafe's last night. A huge crowd gathered to throw a goodbye party. When we texted Emily about it, she'd been really upset and said that she wished she'd stayed a little bit longer. Well, I feel like I owe this shop a lot. Plus, it's my way of saying thanks.
Aww.
You want breakfast? I made Chisa breakfast while she sat in the counter. What's the creepy laugh for?
気持ち悪いはないでしょ。将来のことを想像してニヤニヤしてただけだもん。
Ooh.
ひろきが毎朝こうやって朝ごはん作ってくれるのかなって。
Ooh. You know, you could make it every once in a while.
やだ。
It's like, nope, you're the cook. Simple as that. Why not?
だってあんたの方が料理上手なんだよ。惨めじゃん。
Cooking is all about love. If you cooked for me, I'd be happy eating it, no matter how gross.
その度に、ああ、無理して食べてくれてるなってプライドがチクチク痛むの嫌なんだもん。
Who knew her pride was so weak? But to be honest, I was just happy she was imagining a future with me. And how'd it go with you? The day before, Chisa had talked to her parents about leaving the island.
高校出たら大学行きたいって言ったらむちゃくちゃ驚いてた。
There weren't any universities on Ogasawara. Anyone who wanted to go to a higher education had to leave the islands.
私ってよっぽど地元愛にあふれた人間に見られてたんだね。
Well, you are, aren't you?
わかんないよ、そんなの。だってここしか知らないんだもん。
Chisa insisted this to be true, but I knew that about 3 years from now, she'd realize that she truly did love these islands. So, did they say yes?
お母さんは賛成してくれた。やりたいことをしなさいって。でも、お父さんがね、私に店継がせる気満々だったから。
You know, that is something about it too, and that's something that I would have to disagree with parents with who push it on their children in this regard. And I know some people would say, well, you don't have any kids, so you don't understand. Look, there is very little to really get a grip on that your child might not have the interest in carrying on your family business. Now, look, I have a business myself, but if I ever marry and have kids, there is no way I am going to force my child, if they are not interested, to take over my company as a transitional thing. If it's that time for the company to just go, then it's just the time for the company to go. But I'm not going to hold on to some type of material thing and force my child into a life of that one, they don't possess interest of, and two, they might not even have that skill set for. Because all of us have a different skill set. All of us have different gifts. So one thing that we need to make sure we do is we actually, especially as parents, and this is something I've even seen just on the outside, is train up your child in the passion and the skill sets in which they naturally have. I think that's one of the problems now that's actually causing kids to be so resentful against their parents, is their parents are not really looking at their future based on their gifts and talents. They're trying to train up their kid based on what they think it should be. And that's just not how it works, because ultimately, yeah, that may be your child by DNA, but as far as the child being your property, that's a no-no. That's crossing the line in itself. All right, I'm gonna get off my soapbox, she said with an exasperated sigh. Chisa's father spoiled her to death and probably hated the idea of her going away. I just smiled impishly. You know, it's a real jungle out there. You've never been on a train. Do you even know how to buy a ticket?
今は IC カードだから切符買わなくていいんだよ。そんなの常識。
Chisa said evenly, though she'd never owned an IC card. Well, you know, you'll definitely get homesick. But even if you decide to go home, it's only a 24-hour ship ride away.
そりゃなるだろうけどさ。ねえ、なんなのさっきから。私の気持ちをくじきたいわけ？
I just want you to be prepared. When you get there, I plan to stay as close as possible, but I could feel my face growing hot while I spoke. And Chisa got embarrassed too.
よろしくね。
Chisa said as she played with her shell necklace and blushed furiously. That necklace was now a symbol of her bonds to the island, to me, to Finn. She would always keep it nearby. And since that day, Finn was seen swimming happily in his pod. He had a scar from his cut, but it was likely a mark of pride now. Chisa still wore the necklace when she dived, but Finn wouldn't show up anymore. And on the rare occasions that he did, he just pulled a prank and disappeared. According to Chisa, he probably figured we could get by without him now. I couldn't help but agree with her.
そうそう、エミリーから速報が来てたの。
What update?
ほら、これ。
Chisa held up her smartphone to show me a message. I showed them the ring. Mama and Papa said they'd talk it over one more time. Don't know what'll happen, but I'll do whatever I can.
あの子、この島に来てたくましくなったよね。
Yeah, definitely. When she'd left the island, she looked so grown up, you would have hardly recognized the girl who'd come here on a whim.
ああ、私たちもこの先いろいろあると思うけど、ちゃんと乗り越えていこうね。それで幸せになろう。絶対。
Chisa mumbled her declaration while blushing and averting her eyes. Chisa? I paused my cooking as I called out to her.
何?
Bam! Look at this guy. Chisa froze solid when I suddenly kissed her. It was a sweet kiss at first, just a touching of lips, but I could not stop. And then Chisa closed her eyes and started to enjoy the kiss. I love you, Chisa.
私も好き。
Chisa parted her lips, demanding more. As I responded, a smoky aroma wafted through the olfactory system. He burned it. Oh, the omelet's burning! Whoopsie! I stopped kissing her to quickly flip the omelet, but when I turned back, Chisa was glaring at me. So, how about that kiss?
デリカシーない。バカ。 アホ!
What kind of chef would I be if I let an omelet burn?
知るか！半人前のくせに何がプライドよ！オムレツなんかより私のキスの方を大事になさい！
But he's making it for you.
もう知らない！
Oh gosh. Oh, this soon stuff. Stop it! Stop it! Clearly offended, Chisa stood from her seat. Hey, Chisa! What about breakfast?
本当にあいつは。
Oh my gosh, stop it with the soon! Stop it! Chisa muttered to herself as she stormed off somewhere. Well, if this is any indication, things aren't going to be easy. But as long as I was with Chisa, it didn't need to be easy. After spending so many years together as friends, we were perfectly attuned buddies, no matter what. Well, guess I better get some breakfast and get ready to head home. I was leaving Ogasawara on the afternoon ferry, but that would only be for a time. For me, I knew that Ogasawara was a place I'd always come back to. All right, folks. And I just wanted to show the credits just to pay respects to the developers of this novel. So, Moe Novel, thank you so much for this production. Absolutely fantastic. But it looks like we've got a little more right here. But I just really want to pay respects to the developers of any production that I cover. And commentary and all that. I want to make sure I give them the due respect in showing that all of the acknowledgments thereof. 3 years later, after that summer adventure. The hot and sticky summer weather had started to creep through Tokyo. Oh?
遅いなあ。何やってんだろう。もう電車来ちゃうよ。
Well, check that out. At Tokyo Station, a tanned girl with a ponytail waited on the bustling station platform. Occasionally, she would check her smartphone before glancing around nervously.
私、時間間違ってないよね。
She muttered to herself as she continued checking the time and scrolling through messages. Then a new message appeared on her screen.
ひろきからだ。
You look super shady. Try to relax.
誰が挙動不審よ。もう待ち合わせ時間過ぎてるよ。今どこにいるの？てか、なんで挙動不審ってわかるのよ。
Because I can see you. She nervously scanned the area.
見えてるって、どこにいるのよ。隠れてないで出てきなさい。
I'm not hiding. Look straight ahead.
前？
Chisa raised her head and saw me right in front of her. You're on the wrong platform. That one is for trains going to Shinagawa. Chisa looked at the display board and panicked.
ごめん、すぐ行く。
Don't hurt yourself by rushing, okay? Take your time. We can catch the next one.
何やってんだろう、私。
It had been just over 6 months since she'd started university. But she still wasn't used to city life. Specifically, she had a lot of trouble with trains, which they didn't have in Ogasawara. It was just Chisa and I, one getting used to life off of the islands and the other working through college to go to culinary school. Luckily, we were going to the same university, so we could enjoy a lot of aspects of campus life together.
ねえ、いつから見てたの？
Since you arrived.
意地悪、バカ、アホ！すぐ教えてくれたらいいでしょ！
But it was so funny. I guess that's one way to deal with the soon. Chisa glared at me from across the tracks. Hurry up and get over here.
後で覚えてなさいよ！
Even here in the city, in a totally different world, our relationship hadn't changed at all. Naturally, we were still in love, but that didn't mean we wouldn't treat each other like close friends. And even though living life in the city was exhausting, having one another helped us muddle through. I'm sure she'll get really homesick soon, though. It was almost time for summer vacation, and we were planning on going back to Ogasawara together. Surrounded by the crystal clear waters of the sea, back to our home. And that's it, folks. That is Adventure of a Lifetime. There it is. And we've got a different theme music now. So, yep, there it is. So other things you can do in here is, of course, go through the gallery. So obviously there are some other locked images because obviously there are certain things that we did not select. You know, obviously most likely because we did not select Emily. But as far as the music goes, you've got different sets of music that you can go through. There's tips such as facts that they've got here. So they got plenty of stuff. But that's it, folks. That's it. All right. So by the popular vote, in relations to the next visual novel that I will cover, it is Clannad. I've seen the anime of Clannad, but I have not played the visual novel or seen how the visual novel goes through. So we'll definitely check that out next. So that'll be on Fridays, replacing Adventure of a Lifetime in that regard. And then when I'm done with another visual novel, then another visual novel will take its place for Wednesdays. So with that, I want to thank everyone for joining me on this visual novel. I look forward to you joining me on the next one, which is Clannad. So until next time, happy mixing, everyone.